Hello, hello. Woo! Had to get a little movement. All right, let's turn this down. Let's turn this down. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture to see how those incidents may or may not affect our daily lives. Listen, we can only do what we can do, child. We can only do what we can do. We are here again with this Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively information. I'm going to give you all the updates as I got it. Whew, I tell you the truth. I just came off what looked like almost a 7-hour stream following that ASAP Rocky case. And if you all are following that case, I'm going to be following it till the end of time, child. Let's get into this Justin Baldoni's leaked voice note and possible trial date. Again, housekeeping, y'all hit that like button. And if you like what you see, subscribe and share this video if you care. And we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. First of all, let's get into the easier stuff. And then we'll get down to the So it looks like what we have found that Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, according to the AP, they get a March 2026 trial date for her It Ends With Us lawsuit. I believe the countersuit is going to be happen at the same time because he did countersue her. So they have tentatively a March 2026 trial date and moved an initial conference from mid-February into next week. So let me read this article. It's written by Larry Neumeister and Andrew Dalton. We'll just go over it as quickly as we can. It says a New York judge has set a March 2026 trial date on Monday and moved an initial conference from mid-February to next week as the public feud between Blake Lively and her It Ends With Our co-star and director Justin Baldoni continues to grow and accelerate. And in a new and separate front in the series of legal battles surrounding the film that became a surprise hit last summer, Lively in a Texas court filed a request for a deposition of a man she says was central to turning online sentiments against her during its release and promotion. So that's interesting. That's some new and interesting information. She is deposing somebody in Texas. Now, is this somebody with the bots? Because if you remember going back to the lawsuits filed by Justin Baldoni and filed by Blake Lively, there was some mention of bots or someone getting information and doing bot information. So this is going to be interesting to see what Blake Lively is pulling up from in Texas. So here's the date. New York federal judge Louis J. Lyman told both sides in an order late Monday to prepare for a March 9th, 2026 trial. So he also moved an initial conference from mid-February to next week and told lawyers to be prepared to address complaints about pretrial publicity and attorney conduct. Because you remember, Blake Lively's team filed a letter to the judge wanting a gag order because of the information being spewed out in the court, and she's saying that it is a continuance of the smear campaign against her. So, and you know how I told you all before, I wasn't in favor of Justin Baldoni doing this website or anything like that because it will give that impression. So we're going to see what the judge says. If the judge is going to tell both parties, hey, y'all need to be quiet. Y'all don't need to be dropping any more information. We definitely will see this. Hello there, Loyalty 55. How are you today? So we definitely are going to make sure to see that, because like I said before in a couple of streams prior, I did not like, when Justin Baldoni was talking about doing a website, I really didn't like that because it's not going to look favorable to him. And we will see what the judge says next week, whether or not the lawyers in this case is going to be able to put more information out, because as we speak, the information that's going out, the way the tides have turned, people are not really feeling Blake Lively, if you go on TikTok, if you go on X, um, and even if you go on YouTube, the ties are not feeling it. I So when we were reading the lawsuit from Justin Baldoni, there was a text message talking about if they have this is how you this is how not to use bots, this is how not to use them. So from the text that we were reading, it was Justin Baldoni's PR team critiquing Blake Lively's PR team. We didn't get all the ins and out of that particular section of the text, and if I go through it, I should have pulled it up, but that's where I'm getting the bots, because again, let me go back through here. We see that looks like Blake Lively's team here, she's in a Texas court. Lively in a Texas court filed a request for a deposition of a man she says was central to turning online sentiments against her during its release and promotion of It Ends With Her. So she's saying that there is somebody there that has done this. Now, what will be interesting, in my opinion, if they find this person and if this is somebody that's done it, you remember Stephanie Jones? You remember she fired the Able girl, and then she started working on things. So it would be interesting to see if she was the one that hired the bots. Whoever hired the bots, whoever this Texas man is going to be able to tell Blake Lively who hired him, or if he had anything to do with the bots or anything like that. It'll be interesting to see. Because again, this whole case looks like it's depending on whose PR team can get the message out as the best as of this point. But like I said, I did not agree with this website so that we can ingest the material. We don't really, as the public, like as a content creator, I want you to understand my mindset is like, yeah, release the hounds. But when you look at this from a legal standpoint, it doesn't look good for his team to do that, because it further pushes the narrative that there is a continued smear campaign against her. All this other stuff surrounding Blake Lively is what's surrounding her. But we're talking about, if you're talking about a court of law, all she has to prove is that somebody from his team hired somebody to put information out there. And once that gets proven, if it gets proven, then he's in trouble. I know he wants to defend himself, but again, like I said before, his being a nice guy has put him in a lot of situations where he shouldn't be in these situations in the beginning. So let's continue. Lyman took the action after Lively's attorney claimed in a filing on Monday that an attorney for Baldoni was trying to taint potential jurors over lawsuits the actors had filed against each other. The lawyer said that Baldoni's attorney was trying to wreck Lively's career and turn potential New York jurors against her by creating a website to release selected documents and communication between Lively and Baldoni. And here it is. See, they're already going to court to use this against them. This right here was so unnecessary, and it wasn't a very smart and calculated move by Baldoni and his attorney. I will say that and continue to say this. Do I believe that Blake Lively has some incidents going? Absolutely. But in your case, to get out here to do this, this was very, very unwise, in my opinion. So let's see. So there's a statement from Fredman, and it says basically, we will always respect the court. However, we will never be bullied by those suggesting that we can't defend our clients with pure, unedited facts, the lawyer said. All we want is for people to see the actual text messages that directly contradict her allegations, video footage that clearly show there was no sexual harassment, and all the other powerful evidence that directly contradicts any false allegations. So, Well, that is true. And if you look at this from just a totality's sake, yes, Blake Lively did put that information out there first, and they're trying to get this information out. But again, to just sit up here and say, it's one thing to be in an interview and then you give this information, but to me, it's a total separate thing to completely start a website. That starting of a website seems like a PR move to me. And we won't read anything. So just this note again, let's go back up. That there is for the lawsuit and the counter lawsuit, there is a March 9th trial date set. So we will be covering that unless something happens in the interim. We definitely will be covering that. All right. And so we'll definitely cover that. So the other thing that I wanted to cover today as well is we do have the Justin Baldoni's voice memo to Blake Lively. Now it's a voice memo, so I'm not sure if he sent it to her or not. We're going to read this article by the Hollywood Reporter to see. But also, before we do that, you know how I am about a TikTok, a good TikTok. I do want to go over this particular TikTok that's by Gucci Pooj. So I want to do that. Let her talk about this, her information. I'm going to share this tab. Let her talk about this, and then we'll continue.
Now have extremely compelling evidence that Blake Lively actually gave New York Times her complaint before she filed it with the Civil Rights Department. This comment says, "This is great research. I don't suppose anyone has checked the metadata on the images in the New York Times article." You beautiful genius. But it wasn't the metadata where I found the date. It's the fact that New York Times labels their hosted images with dates. And this image, if you follow the images linked in the New York Times article, each image is hosted with its own link. And if we zoom in right here, you can see that says December 16th, 2024, which means that unless New York Times mislabeled the date for this, New York Times had Blake Lively's complaint for at least 5 days before they published the article. And it's not just this one. All of the graphics that they used are hosted like that. This one is dated December 20th, December 18th, and then this one is from the 21st. There's no date attached inside the actual metadata, or maybe I'm just not technically advanced enough to be able to find that. Why does any of this matter? Well, because Blake Lively's team are trying to say that Justin Baldoni's team are the first people that leaked this information to the press. And yet somehow on the 16th of December, they're able to make the headline image. We already knew because of the timeline, New York Times essentially had to have it in advance. Now I feel like we just know a little bit better about when they definitely had it by. I think this is proof that they had it at least before the 16th of December, because they did have to develop this graphic. And by the way, it's really important who gave it to the media first, not who published it first, because the actual rule of professional conduct, Rule 3.6, which Blake Lively's team is trying to say that Justin Baldoni's team violated, in the part where it talks about when you can defend yourself, a lawyer can make a statement to protect their client if there's a publicity not initiated by the lawyer or the lawyer's client. Not initiated. And I think initiated is the important word. It doesn't say published, it says initiated. And if the New York Times started making graphics for their articles by the 16th of December, I think it is very clear who initiated the release to the media. I mean, it was clear before this, but now we at least have a date. Okay, love you guys. Drink quarter. Bye. Because of this comment, I know.
All right. So this comment and shout out to, let me get her name one more time. And I'll have her link. Gucci Poo. Shout out to her. Because she did put this information out. Hold on. Let me. All right, hold on, y'all. Give me one moment because I like to make sure that all the links that I have, I'm going to have them in my description box. So I need to make sure I find all of these links and copy them real quick. Because I'll get in this website. I'll get into this live and I'll start deleting stuff. And they're like, oh, I got to go back and find it. All right. Thank you all for bearing with me. Hey, hey. Hey, hey, Victoria. Yeah. New York Times. And you have to look at this. If what this content creator that from TikTok says is true, and they were getting this information and they had this information on the 16th, why did they wait until 9 something at night? Hold on, let me make sure I get it right. I want to get the dates. And we're talking about December. So that's the 20th. So they waited until the 20th to have to talk with Justin Baldoni. Looked like they would have talked to him. Someone would have called earlier than that. But that's interesting. So they started on Monday. They had the information on Monday. They must have read through it. They put their little images together. They wrote their story. Because if two people were on this article, and I can't remember, two people had written this article. It looks like one person could have been talking to Justin Baldoni and the other person could have been talking. But like I said, I'm not trying to tell any journalists or anything like that how to do their job. But this is interesting that the time and date, the meta information is a good response to know when you got that information. Well, that's when they started putting the graphics together. They may have had the complaint. I don't know. They may have had the complaint from her before she filed it. They may have had it prior to then. So we don't know. But shout out to let me get her name one more time. Gucci Pooj. Gucci Pooj. Shout out to Gucci Pooj for this information. So let's get into what I wanted to talk about today. So we have the voice memo. So we're going to go to TMZ. Let me make sure because I'm trying to find it first before. Here it is. All right. Let's share this tab today. So this is the voice note that Justin Baldoni had for Blake Lively. Before we listen to it, let's read around it. Justin Baldoni is following through on his vow to release all his communications with Blake Lively, revealing a nearly 7-minute apology he sent her at 2 a.m. while they were working on It Ends With a script. Justin's voice note was clearly recorded shortly after the co-star's now infamous meeting to discuss the rooftop scene, which Blake had rewritten, and he's apologizing for his less than warm reaction to the changes, saying, "I'm really sorry." Well, we'll just read it. We'll listen to what he has to say. Let's just go ahead and do that because they're giving quotes from it, so we'll just listen to what they have to say. All right.
Hey, Blake. It is 2 a.m. Hopefully this does not wake you up. Wow. There's so much I want to say to you, and I hope that we can FaceTime or see each other in person soon and get to talk more. But I'm just going to send you a few thoughts, and hopefully it's not going to be more than a few minutes. But I don't have the best track record. I don't think either one of us have the best track record for our voice memos. I want to start with an apology. Man, reading the second part of your message, my heart sank. And I'm really sorry. I for sure fell short. And you worked really hard on that. And the way you framed it and how that made you feel.
Now let me pause it right here. You remember when she sent him the message about not being seen or heard when she rewrites stuff that people will take her ideas and run with it, but not give her any credit or anything like that? I am making the assumption that this was around that particular time. and her quote unquote dragons. You remember when he went over to the house? Excuse me. When he went over to the house and they were asking him about the changes and stuff like that, and they were kind of bombarding him with the changes, and he probably said some things about, I don't know about the changes and all this others. I don't know. But I'm hoping I'm painting the scene of when I think that this voicemail was sent out. So let's continue.
I just want to say thank you for sharing that with me. That takes a lot of trust and vulnerability, and I feel really grateful that you feel safe enough to tell me that that's how you feel and share that with me. And I'm really sorry. I fucked up. That is a fail on my part. One thing you should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect. I'm a very flawed man, as my wife will attest. And and I'm gonna fuck up. I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth. I'm gonna piss you off probably, but I will always apologize and find my way back to center. That is one thing I can assure you of. And I'm sorry I made you feel that way. That must have felt terrible. And I will for sure do better. That was not my best weekend, and I should have given it more time. And damn right, you got great friends if that's how you felt and they knew that. And fuck, we should all have friends like that. Aside from the fact that they're two of the most creative people on the planet, the three of you guys together is unbelievable. Talk about energy and just a force, all three of you. But I just wanted you to know that I didn't need that, because it's really good and it's going to make the movie sing, like you said. And I'm excited to go through the whole movie with you. I'm just excited to spend time with you. I'm excited to be in your sphere and your presence, and for us to share creative juices together, although that sounds terrible.
So yeah, this happened around that time. So I was correct on that. This happened around that time. I don't know why I'm freezing, y'all. Let me see if I can change. Child, I'm so big and just frozen. Let's see. I don't know why it's freezing like it's doing. So let's continue. I don't know if it's taking up too much bandwidth.
I think, and you and I have been trying to build a relationship, which I think we've done successfully. I mean, here we are talking like this, me into my phone at 2 a.m, but largely via text and voice note. And I will be honest with you, that is not my biggest strength. I love being with people and being in somebody's space and being face to face. And I feel like that's where I excel, and definitely fallen short at times in our text and voice note exchanges, because there's so much to communicate and there's so much happening. And all that to say, I'm just really looking forward to spending time together. And I think that's going to really go a long way for our chemistry, which I believe is there and has been there from the start. So I was so damn excited when you wanted to do this film. I felt it in the room when we met. And yeah, I think it does come from the both of us being so fucking hardworking and having a vision and not settling. And I'm excited to have a creative partner in that.
And I'm just going to pause it every now and then, because there's some commentary that I do want to make. This goes back to my commentary about moving forward for Justin. It will be in his best interest that he does one thing and then allows somebody else to do the other thing. So if there is business that has to be done, he allows someone else to do that business, and he keeps himself in this creative space, because you can definitely hear that he's one of those creatives that, he's, when he gets into that creative space, that's where he's at. He is he reminds me of Erykah Badu. He's sensitive about his work. He's sensitive about his stuff. And so, someone coming in and wanting to rearrange some stuff like that, even though it is a good idea, you still feel kind of you still feel some kind of way. And I don't begrudge him for feeling that kind of way, particularly if you've got things the way you want it to be, particularly as that creative who's a director, who's you have the writers and you're trying to execute this vision. You're very comfortable about how the vision that you want to execute. So I can see it in him being upset, but it's I hate that. Here we go. This is good. It's such a shame he's apologizing while she's manipulating him. Yes. And making him feel a certain kind of way because she, if she wanted to have a writing credit, if she wanted to have those different things like that, and once they knew that she was going to be on board, she should have made that clear to them from the beginning. But she used her levels, and people will say, well, she uses her ability, her manipulation. She uses that ability. She uses her feminine wiles and her ability to manipulate within this thing because, and like I said, a lot of stuff is alleged. It's the stuff that I have heard in the thing. But again, her and her husband have had similar paths when it comes to dating the people that they're on set with. It's my understanding that what she has dated men on sets who have been directors and producers and things like that. So there's a level of manipulation to go on to make sure that whatever position that she wants to secure is secure. So, am I talking about quid pro quo? I guess that's what I'm saying, because like I said, it's alleged, but this is what I'm hearing. And we're also looking at Ryan Reynolds allegedly doing pretty much the same thing. So again, these seem like two peas in a pod. And this is why we have a lot of this stuff going on. And you remember go back and check out my last video, Ryan Reynolds, is he really the problem? And we go over a lot of this going over in that particular space. But let's continue this voice note so we can go ahead and kind of wrap all of this up
with you. And it's just really exciting. There's so much more to say. There's so much I want to say. And there's one thing that I do need to say, which is I am so sorry you have been through what you've been through with these other filmmakers and producers or whoever the people were that you worked with. It just pissed me off. Those fuckheads that I'm just still kind of blown away that this is the industry that we're in and that you've experienced that as a woman. And I know I don't need to say it, but that's not at all going to be or will be. Hopefully it's not been the experience with me. There's nothing more exciting to me like that I get to work with Blake Lively and have her, all of her. I mean, that's what I want. And so there's been.
Oh, his word choices sometimes. But wait a minute, Victoria. Somebody also said, I'm reading what you said, that when she walked into a Hollywood party prior to Ryan, everyone would say, that's Blake Lively. She did all of Hollywood. Now, what I allegedly heard was the fact that a couple of movies and television shows that she had done, there was like a director and a producer that she had been close with. Because I'm gonna call her out a name. I'm not gonna do all that, but just close. Quid pro quoing all over the just quid pro quoing all over the place. But I had heard, just going, like I said, when I went down this rabbit hole, I saw a couple of articles. I saw, like I said, I saw a little TikTok. I saw all these little different things that were saying all this other stuff. And I will say with Justin, again, him being that type of creative, hindsight is 2020, but in the moment, it doesn't seem like anything. But I really wish that his word choice was a little different. But again, you're talking about 2:00 in the morning and you're talking about a creative, and listen to him just feeling sorry for her about how she hasn't been listened to in the industry. But let's continue.
Been no hesitancy with me sending you the final draft file. I am totally fine with that. The only reason I didn't send it today was because I was trying to implement and add your notes into my working draft, which is already like I'm all over that draft right now. So there's a whole bunch of new stars that are going to be collated pages. And I just haven't had a chance to send it to you. But there's no hesitancy. I'm happy to send it to you. And I'm sorry that has happened to you before. And And I hope after this experience, there will be a new, I don't know. I hope it'll be healing in some way. Because that's all I want. I want this movie to be healing. I want this movie to be commercial, just like you, and affect people and touch people. And I want to walk you through my whole plan and the work that we're doing with the domestic violence partner that we found no more, and just my vision. And I just know that this can be really, really special, and it's going to be special. And you're the secret sauce, and we're the secret sauce. And anyways, I have so much more to say. I'm going to stop rambling because Jesus Christ, it's been 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So fuck me. I'm sorry. You probably have kids all over you and a baby on your boob, and you're listening to me ramble at 2 a.m. I hope you're feeling better, and give Ryan my love. Thank you for sending me that. It means the world to me that you trust me with your feelings and your thoughts like that. And I can't wait to spend more time with you. Okay, I'm done cutting myself off. Good night.
Okay. So again, hindsight is 2020, and with what she is suing for, I'm looking like at the wordplay, but if you look at it in the time frame in which in which this happened, we know that she was breastfeeding, we know she was taking care of children, we know she just had a baby, so we know all of that. So in my opinion, how he worded this, for what we understand and know now, it's not inappropriate. Again, hindsight is 2020. People hear all this stuff and start picking things apart like, oh my God, why would he say that, you got a baby on your boob? That's so inappropriate, but not in the time frame that what we see this happening at the time. It was well known that she was breastfeeding or anything like that. So, and if you've been a mom, you know that sometimes feedings would happen late at night, and he was up late at night and going through this, having his thoughts and things like that as he went down there. And it's very sincere, and everything to me that sounds like what he's saying seems sincere. It seems quite sincere. It doesn't seem untoward to me. Nothing seems out of place, out of pocket, or anything. He is acknowledging her as a creative, as an artist. He is acknowledging her, and he is uplifting her in that. And there is nothing wrong. Wait a minute. Hold up. I missed something. I don't think that at all. I think that there was because they're creative, and let's just be real about it. Yes. Now, what I am a little upset about is him talking about letting her see the dailies and all that other stuff. See, I'm real upset about that. I'm really truly upset about that. Like I said, she was not contractually obligated as a director or writer or any of those things. She wasn't contractually obligated. It's one thing to give somebody some information and direction, but she was not contractually obligated to be those things. So I do feel a certain kind of way because you're going through you giving her that information. Again, that's why I'm saying if he's going to be the director, he needs to be the director. There needs to be a buffer between him and the actors and things like that. If he's going to be the actor, then he needs to act. But him trying to act, produce, and direct, he cannot do all those three things at one time. While filming this, he talked about having panic attacks at 3 a.m. on podcasts. I imagine so, and this is why the grace for me is given, because again, they're in the middle of filming. She gets in there and talks about her dragons and how her feelings and her contribution to writing and stuff like that is never taken seriously. So you can definitely kind of see, because that is me paraphrasing her text messages. So you can kind of see with that. So, but right. Well, he left the message, so I don't think he called. I don't think there was going to be a good time to call. Let's be real. Let's be for real. I don't think that there'd be a good time to call But I think him doing this voice note and then just sending it on as a message, I think, you know, in him being up all night, and even if she did hear it or not, that's great. But to frame it as if you know how some people want to frame it as if, oh my God, he talked about her boobs, and oh my God, he said something like that. In the context of what was going on at that time, is not odd. Now, if it was now and he called her and, you know, and says, oh, you got your boob out, so it would be odd, because I don't think she has any, you know, again, I don't know how long certain women breastfeed, whatever, but at this particular point, I don't think that she's possibly breastfeeding at the same. If she's doing anything, she's pumping and she's giving the milk. I don't know if they're going to be suckling, but women do different things. I am not trying to police how she does it, but I am saying that from what we heard, I don't hear anything odd, and I don't hear anything in the point of being harassing. He was just basically acknowledging her as a talent in regards to her being an actress. He was excited about working with her. He was acknowledging her about being a writer, and he was apologizing for the fact that, you know, her and her dragons bum rushed him, and he probably felt some kind of way, and he may have said something, you know. But like I said, like Erica Badu, she's very protective about her stuff. You know, she's very sensitive about her stuff. He sounds sensitive about his stuff, particularly, you know, as a director, you've done your storyboards, you've outlined everything with your writers, and then all of a sudden you keep coming back with new stuff to put in or do something different. And just the same things with the costume department. You have outlined, these people have read the book, they understand, they understand where the character is coming from. They designed the wardrobe to fit the character. And then here she comes designing the wardrobe to fit, you know, to fit Blake Lively instead of for it to be Lily in the book. So, hey, Kat. Listen, if you all are into hey, Kat, if you all are interested in legal cases and getting an in-depth report about them, and then to follow as we watch the trials and stuff like that, because I did my first one today. It was a 5.5 hour daggum it was 6 hour live following the ASAP Rocky case. But if you're into that, and then having some in-depth analysis going on about the case, about what the complaints say and the legal part behind it, y'all go follow Kat Not Williams. I'm gonna pull up her information so that you all can definitely go follow her, because she is one of my mutuals. She is one of the people in these YouTube streets that I follow, because we met up during the Jonathan Majors case. But I definitely want you all to be able to follow her and get some more insights on this. I don't know if she's going to be doing I don't know if she's going to be doing this particular case or not, but y'all give her a great follow. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna give them your Twitter. Ooh, I hope I did that right. It's a lot to put in there. I don't know if I did that one right. Oh, let's see. Because you know I am not savvy on none of this stuff, y'all. Here we go. That is a link to her page. Y'all give her a follow, because we love Kat over here. Ryan wanted creative growth. Blake said Ryan wrote the. He did. You remember she said that in an interview. She said that in an interview, and I would have loved to see what the fallout was with Sony in regard to that. But then again, this is where I had an issue with Justin Baldoni. Again, he can only do one thing at a time. If he's going to be the actor, he needs to be the actor. If he's going to be the director, he needs to be the director. If he's going to be the producer, he needs to be the producer. He cannot function in all three of those things. He can't do it. And that's okay. This is not a condemnation on him. But had he just been the director, I think that this movie would have gotten a little bit further. Had he just been the director, had he just been the actor, or whatever. But trying all those different roles, because remember, it was Colleen that asked him to be Ryle, because he had just planned to be the director. And I really wish that he just would have been the director on this show, because it really doesn't make any sense. Like I said, I think and you know, I've said it before, and I have to use the vernacular that I have. She hit a lick. I think that I think she felt very seen and very heard in regards to all of this. And she mentioned it to Ryan. And then, you know, again, these are two people whose history allegedly shows that they are intertwined a little too deep. They're quid pro quoing all over movie sets. And that's where the issue came. I think that you know, to being collaborative and stuff like that, it doesn't really seem like he had a big problem, other than the fact that it was sprung up on him. And then the other two, the Ryan Reynolds and the Taylor Swifts and whoever her beautiful dragons were that were there on that meeting that day, kind of pounced him, and he probably felt cornered or whatever. However, but to try to take over, issues and problems. Now, someone has mentioned, and you all let me know down in the comments if this sounds good, because someone was mentioning that the reason why Colleen and Blake Lively are like this has everything to do with the contract that Justin Baldoni signed with Colleen, and that there might be possibly a morality clause in it, that if something like this happens, that they can buy back the rights or something to the. There's nothing been proven to show that, but I've just heard a lot of pundits talk about this quote unquote morality clause, and maybe Blake and Ryan are trying to get this because they want to make sure that Blake is in it next the sequel. I don't know. Funnier part about the rooftop scene was her wardrobe that she wore mimicked every famous comedian. Oh, geez. I don't know about that, but I do know he's working. And you know, my running petty joke was, you know, if she'd have said that she wanted to quit, let her quit, because Scarlett Johansson could probably would have taken that role to the next level. But I do see that Scarlett, you know, even I made that little petty joke without knowing that Scarlett Johansson is getting out here with her initial directorial debut on the next project that she's coming out, and Wayfarer is backing that particular project. Hey, how are y'all doing? So that's basically all I have, y'all. We went over the voice note. We went over, what is that woman's name? Gucci Goo. Yeah, Gucci Pooj. We went over her TikTok video, and I will have all the links once I completed this live. I will put all the links to all the things that we went over, so that definitely that you can go back and go through it. But what are you all thinking? Also, let me put this up here for those of you all that just showed up. So the New York federal judge, Louis J. Lyman, has set a date for this trial for March 9th, 2026. But next week, they're going in to discuss Blake Lively's letter to the court in regards to the professional conduct of Justin Baldoni's attorney, saying that he is out here continuing the smear campaign. And like I said before, there's one thing like putting out a voice note or putting out production video to show one thing, but I do think I have an issue with setting up a complete website to put texts and messages and things like that out there. I think that those, I personally think that those things should be kept to court. Now, as a content creator, release the hounds. But if you're going to talk about going into your going into court, I definitely wouldn't want that put out there, because you know that I don't like that. That's just a me thing. Yes, we have a date. Yes, cat jealousy is something. BL probably said she probably said she has Oscar and Golden Globe nominations, and now she's directing. I want to direct. Mm, I don't know about all of that. And like I said, she may. Her father was a director. And if you're a Gen Xer, her father played in the Dukes of Hazzard. He was the guy. He played the guy with the I want to say he played the guy with the tow truck. I want to say he played the guy with the tow truck, but her father played in the Dukes of Hazzards long time ago. I don't have much information on her mother, but I do remember her father. I do remember him playing in that, and I know he played in some other things too. I just didn't I did not know that's who it was, but I do recognize who he was. And I hear since that he has passed away, so rest in peace to him as well. All right, people. That is all I have. We have a court date. They will go into court next week to discuss whether or not there is going to be a gag order. So we will see anything about that. What is this? I see somebody said that they're obsessed. I'm obsessed with this too. This is absolutely. So what do you all think about this? Because what I'm going to do, and y'all stay tuned to my community page, because there are so many articles and things like that that keep coming out with them. And you remember, my whole fascination about this is this the PR teams. So stay tuned to look to my community page, because I'm going to do like a little image poll or whatever, and you all, or however I'm going to word it up there, and we're going to figure out which PR team may have put this information out there. So we know with the New York Times that was Blake Lively's camp. That's fine, but there have been subsequently other, and I put them down in the description box for these videos. But I will pull some of them out, and then we'll just kind of do, and maybe we'll just do a whole video of that. We'll analyze the different articles and to see if it's just an analysis that was coming from the writer themselves, or is this information that has been funneled through a PR team, and to figure out which PR team funneled that information. That will be for me. Y'all let me know down in the comments if that's something that you want to do, because that would be fun for me to figure out whose PR team is working overtime in regards to these different articles. And like I said, I will pull the different links to those different articles, and we may just do a video about it. We may just do a video. Give me a couple of weeks, and we'll definitely do a video about it, particularly around the time that they have this court hearing, and to see whose PR team is working hard. Because and let me tell you, I have been fascinated about PR teams ever since I started doing just my little deep analysis. When I started with the Jonathan Majors case, how you would see information come out, and I was like, where is this information come from? Who are these people? Where are they getting this information from? And so now I'm starting to think, because there was, during that particular trial, there was this article that was written about these 40 or 50 different people that were supposed to have talked to this journalist, and yet the only names that you had were names that you got from the defense, but you didn't have anybody else's name in the article. But there was like 40 some people that you talked with. It was this big article. And now hindsight has me thinking, wow, I wonder whose PR team put that information out. Where did that go? Was that from the prosecution? Was that from the victim? Where did this information come from? And who put all this together? You can kind of tell who, from the defense there, where information was coming out. But again, since we have two separate PR teams working, and this is a civil case, I definitely want to see whose PR team is. We can identify who's writing these different articles. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. We can all agree that was definitely her. I'm glad y'all still invested. I love it. I love it. And I love like minds that we can sit down here and chat and go through all of these little different things, not necessarily have to stick to this the strict of uh what's going on legally, but we can kind of use our critical thinking and kind of come up with other scenarios and things like that. I am enjoying y'all with this. You know, that still does not rub with me in the way. Yeah, that I didn't know it either. Someone, because when I was reading an article that was talking about her mom and her dad, uh, because the article was referencing the fact that I will tell you it was a spin on for Blake Lively's team because they were referencing the fact that she was Hollywood. I don't know if they said royalty or not. I'm saying royalty. I can't remember if the article said it, but they were talking about because she had, her family was big in Hollywood. I think her mother was an actress, but I think she was a talent scout or a talent agent or something like that. And then her father was an actor and he was also a director as well. So I was thinking when I read this article, and I remember this was early on when all this happened. I was like, oh, okay, her father was a director. So maybe she has the director's bug. But that was way before I understood the gravity of all this stuff that's going on. So, oh, good. So y'all are okay with this. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna get this live and everything set up so we can definitely do that and go over a few articles and then try to figure out what this. And then here's the thing on this too, what I want to do too. If I'm doing this, I want a couple of you all to come up and join me and we will discuss this as a team. How about that? We'll do that. We'll do that. I think Candace's source is in the PR team for Blake. You think so? Because I'm still trying to figure out her angle. Because as I've known Candace, she's always been about politics, but I guess she has been booted out of that sphere, and now she's in this whole Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni type situation. I am interested to see where she's in, and you know what else I'm interested in, y'all? I really want somebody to sit down and talk with the cast. I really want to know what happened in regards to this everyone taking sides and then all of a sudden everyone is team Blake Lively and so and so is down in the basement and all of this other stuff. I think Blake's friend who? What friend? Y'all tell me which friend, because I don't think it's Taylor. Taylor's too busy in the NFL making sure that her man is doing something. Which friend are we talking about? Thank you so much, Victoria, for your 1999 super sticker. Thank you again so much for supporting my channel. I really, really do appreciate it. I truly, truly do. Thank you so much. Let's see. Yes, the PR team or the friend is for Blake. Rumor has it that Blake is not happy about Brian pushing her in all of this. She may not be. Because, again, you remember what I said, is Ryan the problem? You remember how I said it? Do you think this is by design? That if her reputation is ruined, she's going to be at the house raising babies. And do you think that that's particularly by design? Now, I don't want anybody to think I'm coming off as some kind of misogynist or anything like that. I'm just asking questions. Do you think it's by design? Because you have two people whose personalities seem to be similar. And and from what we read and we went over in regards to his relationship with Alanis Morissette and his relationship with Scarlett Johansson, there was levels of controlling. And so do you think all of this was by design to have all of this happen so that she would have to go home and stay home and only do like her mother, be a talent agent or whatever? Her angle is Blake is a victim, not entirely, but mostly, and Ryan is the bad guy. That helps Blake. Men will keep watching Ryan's movie, but Blake will be boycotted. And that's sad, but it's such a true thing. But Blake is not, and I understand the sentiment that you're talking about, but Blake, in my opinion, is not this. She doesn't give me victim. She gives me manipulator. And she probably wanted to manipulate a certain part, and then it just went out of control. Now it's going to be interesting when we walk through this lawsuit with in March, when we get all the evidence pulled out. And I hope that we could get as much information coming out of that courtroom as possible. But it will be interesting to see how they frame all of this information when it goes out. But she's especially if she divorces him. I don't think I unless unless this causes Chernobyl with Blake, I don't see her writing a book. I think that she will try to get at least a good portion of his funds and keep it moving. But who was the friend? Who is this friend? Oh yeah, because everyone is falling with this you remember how we talked about, is Ryan the issue? Everyone is now trying to spin it like there people on Blake Lively's side are now trying to spin it like, see, it wasn't him, it wasn't Blake, it was Ryan. First it was, oh my God, Justin is this bad, evil person. Now they're like, oh, okay, so the tide is turning a little bit. People are not talking about Justin in that manner. So now everybody is like, it's Ryan. He's the bad person. He has to be the one controlling her. All this other stuff. And so either way, they're painting her out to be this damsel in distress. And I am saying I don't believe in that damsel in distress. I believe there was some manipulation going on, and she was doing some manipulation, and then it may have spun out of control. So I don't look at her as being, like I said, she knows the husband that she has because she married this man. She knew how she got him. He married her. He knew how he got her. So, both of them were in other relationships, and then they got together. So I'm not looking at it like this. I think I always believed in shades of gray. We all do stuff. So I don't look at her as a oh my gosh, she's this big victim. I believe that there's some things that she contributed to the mess that she's in. I believe that there's some things that Justin did to contribute to the mess that he's in. I do believe that the New York Times contribute to the mess that they're in. I do believe that Ryan contributed to the mess that they're all in, and their reputations are being put to the test. So I believe that it was just a good cluster F. They all participated in some stuff, and now people are looking to blame. Justin has been humiliated on a movie and a project that he has worked 5 years of his life for. So he's now wanting to fight back on that. Blake is looking at the fact that people look at her, and her reputation is not as stellar in the community, and no one wants to really work with her. And so she's trying to fight back to gain that stuff. So I think that each one of them have their own little reasons why they're doing it. But if you let me tell it, each one of them has done some stuff that they should not have done. And this is why they're in the predicament that they are. Exactly. And again, that comes from us being content creators, and we have everybody wants to feel like they're cracking the code or cracking the case, and we're just going over information. And please be mindful. If you do not think that these PR teams are not looking at what's going on and which content creator is putting out what information and how they're trying to spin it, I believe that with all fervor and honesty. Child. I am going to say this, and like I said, the Swifties might be mad at me, but Taylor Swift is a great case study on mediocrity and how certain people can be mediocre and excel to high places. Now, is that because they have connections? Possibly. Any of those things, but she is a truly wonderful case study in how the mediocre can excel to great heights. That's Pamela's opinion. Pamela uh TV. That's just how I feel. She is not, she's not, the way they talk about Taylor Swift. I don't listen to a lot of Taylor Swift music. The only time I hear it is like if she's on an award show and she's singing something. So I hadn't watched an award show in a while and I hadn't heard her sing. But everything about her it seems to be very mediocre. And kudos to her, but like I said, it just seems she does have some levels of manipulation issues, and like I said, mm, exactly. And that was an issue that I had, and that's why I keep saying, if you're going to be the director, be the director. If you're going to be the actor, be the actor. If you're going to be the producer, be the producer. Justin Baldoni, if you're listening, you can only do one thing at a time. You can't be the director and the actor, because again, you're too sensitive, and that sensitivity and that easily to be manipulated has gotten you into some trouble. Because had you just been the director and directed your movie, and if she had an issue or problem with how you were directing the movie and she was going to leave, baby, go. Scarlett Johansson is Scarlett Johansson is in the back. You hear me? Scarlett Johansson is in the back. Yeah, he's again, that whoever's doing this, they're putting it, and again, we're gonna wait till next week to see what the judge is saying. Is he working too? Is he doing too good? Because the issue that I don't want for him is if the judge says your lawyer is doing too much, your lawyer is out here putting to stuff like that, then that is going to hurt him in the long run when we get into March about that. So we'll see what happens next week. Taylor Rand. Who you to expand on what the Taylor Swift and her levels of mediocrity? Then that explains a lot to me. Then that mediocrity is paired with a rich family who has connections. That's where that's coming from. I honestly don't think she wants to, because her music is based on, from what I understood, like I said, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but I've just listened to what people say, that most of her music has everything to do with who she broke up with. So we'll see. What gag orders? I don't know. Has Taylor Swift done the Super Bowl? Either as the performer or a guest of a performer? Has Taylor Swift done the Super Bowl? Because she might be vying to do a Super Bowl halftime show. Because with all this publicity, oh, okay. All right, cool. You know what, this whole publicity, and again, and I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna end this stream. And I hate that we ended it on Taylor Swift, but that's how we're gonna do this. You know what all this publicity reminds me of with the NFL and Taylor Swift and what's his name? I know his last name is Kelsey. I don't remember what his first name is. Travis Kelsey. Thank you. Do you all remember a few years back when it was Kim Kardashian and Reggie Bush? And you remember how all of this publicity was happening because that was when the Kardashians were at the height of their reality TV run, and she was dating Reggie Bush, and he was playing in the Super Bowl, and I can't remember if his team won or not, but I remember that they spent so much time putting the camera on Kim Kardashian when you've got the guy in the NFL who's doing the work, and everybody was looking to talk with Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian was just the girlfriend. And that's the way I feel about Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is just a girlfriend. Now, I'm not trying to downplay any of their accomplishments, because their accomplishments are their accomplishments, and kudos to them. But it's the guys that are in there playing the game, and they should, if it's one thing to talk to the women off field. I think that there's nothing wrong with that, but don't just do it because they are popular. If you're going to talk to the women married to the NFL or whatever, do that. Help create a reality show behind it or something with retired NFL spouses and things, players and their spouses and whatever. Just create a reality show behind it. But that's what this reminds me of, that everybody's giving all this attention to Taylor Swift because she's dating Travis. And I think after a while, and just like with Reggie Bush, he did not like the fact that he was having to, anytime he went into an interview, anytime he did anything, no one wanted to talk about him and his achievement. They wanted to talk about Kim Kardashian. And I think with Travis Kelce, that's going to be an issue as well. No one is going to want to talk to him about his achievements on the field. They're just going to be wanting to talk with Taylor Swift. And for guys, that gets old real quick. Real quick. I mean, I haven't really seen them together. Every time I see it's just like a picture and they're walking away or something like that. But again, like I said, we will see. All right, people. We do this every week. Y'all, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video with you if you care. Again, Victoria, thank you so much for supporting this channel. I really do appreciate that. I really, truly do. And if the rest of you would like to support, you don't have to do a monetary support, but I do appreciate them. But hit that like button for me. I'm excited. I have passed the 1,000 subscriber mark, and I'm on the way to going to 1,500 subscribers. So in order to help me do that, share my videos on your social medias if you'd like. But please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell your coworkers, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye-bye.